Hello, welcome everybody. I trust we're live now. It really gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the Women Light of Africa Charge session. This panel is pretty exciting. We have some fantastic guest speakers on the panel. I just want to check that they're all here. We're waiting for one more. That is Mrs. Charlotte Essiet, Miss Charlotte Essiet, if she would join us. I can see everybody else is on with us. Whilst Charlotte is coming into the session, I'm just going to quickly introduce our panelists today. The main aim of this panel is really to encourage women to play their part in the sector and to give a charge to up and coming and aspiring entrepreneurs and professionals in the energy sector. So first we have a WEN patron, the distinguished Honorable Hajiya Ammuna Lawan Ani, who is our WEN patron, OON. She's also an independent non-executive director of Africa Prudential Registrars PLC and Unilever Nigeria PLC. So we're so delighted to have you with us today, ma'am. Thank you very much for gracing the occasion with your presence. We also have a video that will be played by none other than Her Excellency Alayinge Sylvia, the former First Lady of Bayelsa State, who will be speaking about the Supernova Girls. I bet you're wondering what that is about, but you will hear about it pretty soon. And then on the panel, I have Mrs. Alero Onosode, who is the chairman of the Diversity Sectoral Working Group of the Nigeria Content Consultative Forum, NCCF. It's really great to have you with us today, Mrs. Onosode. And of course, last by no means least, my super amazing co-host and anchor, the delightful Miss Charlotte Essiet, who is a director of corporate and regulatory affairs at AOS Orwell and an engineer by profession. It's so great to have you all here with us. So what I'd like to do first of all is for each panelist to deliver a short goodwill personal message, touching on any of these things: women in the energy transition, gender, parity and equality, workplace policies, or increasing energy access as it pertains to women, and inspire and give us a charge to press on, and particularly for those up and coming young women in the industry. Each panelist will have about 4 to 5 minutes to speak, and we will go with Hajiya Ammuna Lawan Ali first and then move to Her Excellency afterwards. So over to you, Hajiya.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you're having me this morning. Good morning, all. Hello, can you hear me?
Good morning to you. Yes, we can. Thank you, ma'am.
We are humbled through the mercies of the Almighty to join members of our organization, Women in Energy Network, and our partners, the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria, on this occasion of the 2021 Global International Women's Day celebration. This year marks the 26th anniversary of the milestone, the Fourth World Conference on Women, held in Beijing, China in 1995. I'm glad to mention here that Nigeria actively participated, and I was fortunate to be a member of the delegation that attended that conference. At that event, a platform for action was adopted by consensus, setting out visionary agenda for women's empowerment. It is also one of the reference frameworks for analyzing the situation of women around the world and evaluating the efforts of states to support women empowerment. The platform for action envisaged a world where every woman and girl can exercise her freedom and choices and realize all her rights, such as living free from violence, going to school, participating in decision-making, especially in areas that affect them, and receiving equal pay for equal work. But 26 years on, despite some progress, we are still faced with similar challenges as we did almost 3 decades ago. Women represent merely 22% of the traditional energy sector workforce, and the percentage is even lower at the upper and technical levels. We as women in Africa need to identify the primary obstacles being faced and assess our progress so far, and also examine the reforms that have not yet been implemented and why these reforms are yet to be realized. The obvious missing link are the lack of relevant education and the gross representation of women in decision-making positions in all sectors, from government to energy, finance, health, education, etc. The energy sector workforce has traditionally been male-dominated, and unfortunately, this gender bias still prevails in 2021. Renewable energy tends to have a better diversity index of workforce. That of oil and gas has one of the lowest representation of women and diversity than any other sector you can think of. In Africa, 95% of CEOs are men, even though women make up more than half of the growing African population. In fact, IMF has published that countries in the bottom 50 in gender equality, including Nigeria, could grow their economies by up to 35% if they simply had more women. Gender bias poses very high risks, and in fact, research has shown that companies with high percentage of women or gender equal work environment tend to do better, not only financially, but are more innovative. In order to foster gender inclusion, it is necessary to address root causes of gender inequality. According to the UN, poverty and subsistence living and resultant cultural practices such as childhood marriages and child labor continue to impede access to education for girls and young girls in sub-Saharan Africa. The UN UNICEF reports that out of approximately 31 million girls of primary school age, roughly 17 million may never see the four walls of a classroom. And of those that are enrolled, approximately 50% of them will drop midway at the level, as the level of attrition, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, is extremely high. Perhaps here I will just talk about my own personal experience when I was growing up. It was just by sheer luck that I got educated. Although my father was educated, the norm or the practice there was that you can't, once you have attained the age of puberty, 15, 16, you should get married. My luck was that at the time I even finished secondary school, there was no suitable suitor for me. So that was just the basic reason why I was able to even proceed. But at that time, my parents were feeling very embarrassed with a grown-up girl coming in and out of the house and the neighbors watching. Why is this girl still not married? And at that time, I kept standing in front of the mirror and kept wondering, I said, what is wrong with me? Am I that ugly? What is wrong with me? Is there something about me that nobody has? All the people that came wanting to marry me were my father's age group. So anyway, fortunately, an auntie of mine took me away to Kaduna. And the state government, then it was a Northeast state government, they were looking for young girls that they can sponsor to the university, Ammuna University. So 3 of us, from the whole region, 3 of us were selected. And we were taken to ABU. And from ABU, I think I ran away from the university at least half a dozen times because I was just too scared to go into the library. But somehow, as God will have it, I eventually settled down and went through the university without any repeat or a receipt. So this is how I found myself where I am. Thanks be to God's intervention, but certainly not from cultural support or family support. By prioritizing education-based initiatives that give young girls the opportunity to enroll and remain in school, energy and non-energy sectors alike will benefit from a significant rise in educated and qualified candidates. While we encourage and advocate for necessity of educating the girl child and ensure that this is done to minimize attrition, we must promote the need for them to embrace STEM. Appropriate and targeted training, education, entrepreneurship, and mentoring are very essential for those of us that have something to offer. STEM education serves as the driving force behind human capital development. In the energy sector, particularly as the sector moves towards cleaner and more technologically reliant energy solution. However, according to the World Economic Forum of 2009, women remain significantly underrepresented among STEM graduates. Here, the global gender gap stands at 47%, with 30% of male students graduating from STEM subjects. In contrast, only 17% of female students graduate from there. Global Partnership notes that in many developing countries, particularly Africa, factors preventing women and girls from accessing STEM opportunities include cultural norms and traditional values, which consider STEM a domain better suited for the male child. This persistent attitude continues to exclude women and girls from science and from accessing related job opportunities. By driving inclusivity within these fields, the sector can initiate a dramatic increase in innovation and technology, driven by heightened female participation and engagement. The only way that Africa will be able to stimulate sustainable growth across the energy value chain is through enhanced capacity building with regards to STEM-related fields. The essential transition to low carbon future will depend on our ability to harness all possible talents in service of the breakthrough of ideas and solutions that will transform our world. We simply cannot do that if half of the global population continues to sit on the sideline. We need to take action together as a group, as women, to close the gender gap in energy and help women succeed in industries where they are traditionally underrepresented. But how do we do that? First, by encouraging and promoting and supporting young girls who are interested in STEM careers. These young girls and women need to be inspired to believe that they can earn a place, not only earn a place in the boardroom, but they can actually determine who sits with them in the boardroom. So I think we should go a step further than just wanting to be in the boardroom, but let us be in a position to decide who else will join us in the boardroom. Secondly,
Wow.
by having, yes?
Please carry on, ma'am. Please carry on, ma'am.
I have just half a page to go. By having more women in leadership, or the second point is by having more women in leadership positions. This is crucial to bring about change that we need, especially considering the huge role diversity can play in shaping a country's priority and agenda. Now, we must, and thirdly, we need genuine and strong political will. I repeat, genuine and strong political will, and less of the rhetorics. There's a lot of rhetorics, excuse me. So let us have genuine and strong political will on the part of our respective governments. While there is a tremendous potential to create employment and entrepreneurial opportunities in the energy sector, our general concern is that women will become more marginalized if gender equity policies and programs are not proactively planned and genuinely implemented. While we celebrate, ladies and gentlemen, while we celebrate this day, it is our earnest desire as an association that we all work collectively to achieve women inclusion in the energy sector and shun gender bias, inequity, and inequality. Living in a very challenging world, we must speak with one voice and collectively, the word collectively, challenge all forms of biases and ensure the attainment of our full potential. The theme, Choose to Challenge, is a call for action. We must power Africa. We must energize it towards a better future. We must be the torchbearers for those that are coming up. As the saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. We need to go far, so we must act as a group and collectively. As women, we are known for excellence and innovation. It is for us to live up to that challenge and light up Africa collectively. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hajiya. Those words were incredibly powerful, and thank you for sharing your personal story and giving this incredible charge to the women in the network and the women in the energy. So we're very, very grateful for your presence and your patronage of the WIAN organization. I'm just going to quickly invite Mrs. Alero Onosode to give us her very brief charge. We've unfortunately run out of quite a lot of time as we need to move into the session with the GMD. So over to you, Mrs. Onosode. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity and the platform. And thank you very much, Hajiya, for that clearly articulated charge. I think I would just, because I couldn't think of a better topic for today than Light Up Africa, because under the guise of darkness, we've basically lost a lot of our own natural resources, spiraled into poverty, and we're bedeviled by all sorts of social ills. So clearly we need to light up Africa. So I hope as we go into the conversations today, we focus not just in our role as providing technical solutions to the energy problem, but that we do keep our eyes on the big picture in terms of the value that we create. So I'd just like to leave us with 3 words that I hope will guide our thoughts as we go through today. The first word is I. The word I begins to speak to the issues of identity. It speaks to possibilities. It speaks to choices, and it speaks to action. I think particularly as women, it's important that we address the conversation around our identity, recognizing that we bring value and that we are important as we are. What the world needs today is women at the table. As I look at the energy situation in Nigeria and across the continent, what comes to my mind is I don't know of a mother who keeps her own children naked while she clothes a foreigner. And that is what we have done so far. We have fueled the world's development at the expense of ourselves. And so now when we begin to have the conversation around domestication, it is important that as women, we step forward with our core capabilities around nurturing, around caring for others, and we bring solutions home. So really it's important that we address the issue of identity. The choice we make today is important. So I hope that as the conversations go on, we choose to be involved and we choose to contribute to the solutions that come up, and also that we commit to action. I is the tool that you and I have to use in terms of changing the landscape. The second word I'd like to leave us with is the us. And us speaks to the power of the collective. It's recognizing that there is a lot of good work going on in pockets within our industry, but our ability to leverage is important for us to come together, because it is in the us that we're able to synthesize ideas, that we're able to distill actions, that we're able to amplify the efforts that are being made, and above all, creates the platform for catalytic change. So as we go into the conversations today, I hope we're listening for the opportunities to collaborate, the abilities to network. And I believe that for us in the Sectorial Working Group on Diversity, that is where we can add value in terms of pulling everybody together so that we can co-articulate and co-create the future that we want to see. And the last word I'd like to leave us with is our. is recognizing that whatever we do is in the service of the overall good. The agenda is greater than you and it's greater than I. So it is important that we commit ourselves to change and creation. And so just briefly, I would like to say in summary that in the course of today, I hope for each and every one of us, we can find our I and we choose, we commit, we collaborate, we create, and we change so that we can fuel the continent, fuel our economies, and basically unleash the potential of the continent. So let's light it up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Onosode. Choose, create, commit, collaborate, change. I'm not sure I got the right order, but those C's will resonate. And, you know, between what you've said and Hajiya's brilliant opening speech, I think there are a lot of women who are going to be inspired. I can see in the chat box that a lot of people were already inspired, saying these are inspiring words. If we want to go far, we go together, and even asking for the recording. I'm so grateful for your time, and I hope we can continue these conversations, ladies, even beyond this as we move to the next section. So thank you so much again, Hajiya. We're very grateful for your presence. Thank you very much, Ms. Onosode. We look forward to taking the conversation forward as we move into the next session. And I'd just like to encourage our viewers to please join us for the GMD of NNPC's speech, which is going on right now in the next live session. So thank you again very much, everybody, and hopefully see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.